Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. I'm with one of my favorite human beings. This is the one and only Al Spry, the radio guy, Al Spry, the realtor guy, Al Spry, all things. Don't you like
Oh,
his last name too? Spry. He's spry about everything. Today we're here to talk about your abundant now, embracing gratitude, alignment, and the present moment for a life of joyful abundance. I got that all out. It's beautiful. I love it. Al's an amazing human being. I'm just glad to have you here. Welcome, Al. Welcome back. How are you
yeah,
doing?
so good to be back. It's been a little while since we've done this.
It
So
has been a little
in
while, and you've
fact,
got
it's been
much.
too long. We can't let this much time go by.
We can't, but we do see each other. But you coming on the show and talking about abundance couldn't be any more needed right now. We were at an event yesterday and sort of talking about the abundance mindset. But just really quick, tell them a little bit about what you're doing now, who you are now, because you're not the radio guy anymore.
Not the radio guy. I still do some TV, which was nice enough to nice enough to come on my show, American Roundtable, on
That's
TV
right.
38 in Orlando. Well, I just want you to first write this down, yourabundantnow.com. That's my splash page. It's an ebook. I put in for an audio book. I recorded one. I think they just have to approve it. But right now it's an ebook. Maybe they approved it, but we'll see. And check out yourabundantnow.com.
And that is scrolling across your screen, friends. So yourabundantnow.com is scrolling across your screens. That is an easy one to remember, Al.
All right. Look at that. There's a scroll.
There's a scroll. We're big time here. We're cable news network or something. I don't know
I
what.
would have expected no less. No less. No, it's good to be here, and it's nice to be with you. It's nice to be talking about these issues. So you've known me since I did radio. I worked for WDBO, WMMO, Real Radio. I worked for the Florida Radio Network. Did stuff with the Alabama Radio Network, different networks I worked with as well. So what am I doing since 2017? A new career in real estate for all intents and purposes. And first year I got through it and I became rookie of the year. So then my wife said, well, now you got to stick with it. I said, oh boy, now I'm into it. Real estate's not an easy business, but it's a rewarding business.
Absolutely.
And it's all about communication, man, just like radio, just a little bit differently. And so I've been a multi-million-dollar producer, alspry.com. If you want to find out more about my real estate side, it's myname.com. I'm a 6-time multi-million-dollar award winner. That's doing more than $2 million in inventory, meaning I've sold more than $2 million worth of homes in one given year. So
it's good stuff.
Then I had an opportunity to buy Beacon Real Estate and Associates with offices in Mount Dora in Orlando, and I took that opportunity on right in the middle of COVID, which made it interesting, So I've had that going for over 3 years. But I also wanted to write a book about my experiences and how to help people because I like to give back like you do, and that's where Your Abundant Now came in. It really is an amalgamation of all different kind of philosophies that I've gleaned. The hardest part and the easiest part at the same time is implementing these. How do you try to stay present and positive as much as possible when the world keeps sucking you in the gut? Well, you got to take the punch first, then you got to work through it as efficiently as you can, and get back to your joyful, happy state. So I was having a situation this morning because my stepdad lives with us and he's getting older and he's getting issues without going into detail. And I was having a pretty stressful morning. But now that I'm on with you, it's all good, man. So it's as simple as that. You have to take it and then you got to roll back into your happy, joyful state.
What do you say to people? Because I'm the same way, but it takes practice to do that, right?
Yes,
a lot of people tell me, well, yeah, Ted, I'm feeling in the moment and I'm either waiting for the other shoe to drop which I think is a terrible way to think.
It is.
Or I
But
get
I've
it,
done
and
it.
it deflates me. It completely deflates me, and they don't know how to recoup. They don't know how to gain the traction back. So people love to read these. I think people read abundance books. They read as much as they can and try to take it in, but then they get hit, like you said, and they have no idea how to recover. So can you give them an idea? I'm sure that's in the book, or I'm sure you've talked about it before, but it's easier said than done if you're not practicing something, doing something, saying something, reciting something. What's your way to get back?
Well, I'm going to give you a very easy process, but it's going to be a little painful for people because we develop bad habits too. And the first is never watch the news again.
Amen to that.
Never watch television again, except for, the only thing I watch on TV now, some movies, maybe an HBO series because they don't have commercials. And I kind of just do that. And then I get my news if I want to look at headlines so I'm up to date, because that's the big complaint is, well, if I don't watch the news, I won't be up to date.
Right.
Well, no, there's apps. I use Newser, NEWSER.com.
Oh, yeah.
And then I can go, oh, okay. Yeah, things are still kind of messed up. That's cool. Okay, I'm up to date. And then I can move on with my joyful day, you see. So, I don't want to have my head in the sand, but at the same time, when that's going right in there,
Like, what did you do? What was it this morning? Did you meditate? Did you pray?
Yes,
Did you do all of that stuff after the scenario that you had with your step?
My meditation is right here, right now today, because I actually did not have time to meditate today, but I try to meditate every single day. Now, I'll miss a day here and there, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it because I can put myself into a meditation at this point very quickly. I could just go, and then I can breathe, puts me in the moment. And then I can imagine a ray of light hitting me at the top of the head, going through my body, which is the ray of God, or the abundant energy that flows through us all. You just have to allow it. You have to allow the flow. The flow's always there. Are you cutting off the flow? That's the thing. Joe Dispenza says that. Dr. Joe Dispenza always says, are you cutting off the flow? If you are, stop doing that.
Yes.
So I'll give you a good example. I'm not anti-TV. I have a TV show. I'm anti what the heck they're putting on now and the crazy commercials they have. And well, I guess I'm anti-TV news for the most part, because even my show, I've changed. I used to be more current events. Now I'm uplifting stories and positive interviews with folks like yourself. And but I'm telling you, I turned on TV. Vaughn had a football game on, and there was some crazy commercial for some kind of I think it was Doritos, and it's like going zing, zang, boom, biddly doo doo, deep doo choppa. And I'm just thinking, what the hell is that doing to people's brains?
Well, I think TV, you're right. TV is just, you just have to be very, very particular about what you feed your brain. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because alignment is a word that a lot of people throw around, but I actually don't think they know what it means. Being aligned and not watching certain programs is aligning with whatever you're trying to align with.
By the way, I'm going to realign myself because my plug is about to go out of my computer and I don't want to lose you. So I'm realigning.
You're realigning. Look how quickly you realigned.
Do you like that? You get action in this.
Get a lot of
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
What is alignment to you? What does that mean? Because that's part of what you want to talk about.
Alignment is aligning with the source of all. Now, everyone has a belief. Some people have a belief. Obviously, some people are atheists, but they still believe that there's something, unless, that they know the universe exists. I'm not going to get into, obviously, religion, because that is a personal thing, and that's a belief. But let's just say, if you follow the great religions, God is everywhere and everything and in everyone. And so when you're aligning with the source of the creator. I'm just going to say the creator. Somehow this came to be, this crazy thing that we're in. And so somehow the creator was integral in it. And you have to align through meditation and turning off TV and turning off social media. Well, let's just talk about briefly about social media. How are you going to align when you're looking at social media and you're fully in your ego, looking to see how many likes you get and who you don't like, and how could this person have said something to me and throwing this hate my way, and now I've got to try to throw hate back because how dare they disrespect me, et cetera, et cetera. You know, all this stuff. So how are you supposed to be aligned and have flow when you're in your ego on social media, or you're in your ego watching some plane crash or somebody get shot? To me, it's the antithesis, right? Of, like, we come from nature. We should be looking at trees and grass and a pond, and we should be walking, hiking, bicycling, motorcycling, being out and about in the world. People think that the world is bad, then they're going to try to escape into a world within a world, which is actually worse, right? Like AI. And I'm not saying everything could be used for positives, but let's just say that knowing humans the way we do, I mean, what's the likelihood of that being that the predominant way it's being going to be used?
Let me ask you about alignment, though. People could say, okay, Al, I agree with you. I want to be aligned. I don't know aligned. Maybe they don't know aligned with what, or maybe they don't know how to become aligned. If it's as easy as just turning off the TV. But
Yeah,
I think there's a lot more to it, which I'm sure you talk about.
it's in the book, which is only $5.99, by the way. Heck of a
Ooh,
book. It's a cost of a change your life for the cost of a Starbucks coffee.
there you go.
Maybe even less than a Starbucks coffee now.
Probably less at this point.
So, you know how people are pricing books at 35, $40. I'm not doing this book to really make money with it. If that happens, I'll accept it. It's fine. But I'm doing it really more for a public service. How to get aligned? Well, if you feel that you're in your ego, I recommend 3 deep breaths. Let's do that. Let's all do that together. Now you're present. Now we're all present. Everyone watching this show that took 3 deep breaths is present.
It's so simple, though, right? Isn't it beautiful that it can
That's
be
simple.
that simple, or at least that can be the foundation, and that can be the one thing that you can do, because
Right.
it takes no time, and it immediately focuses the attention on the breathing and away from all the ish that you're
All of the nonsense that we all have to deal with being humans. Right.
yes.
So that's all you got to really do. Now, the meditation part includes breathing. But if you feel like you're going to kick someone's ass, like you're feeling, should I grab the cigarette? Should I take the drug? Instead of all that, just do 3 deep breaths and then think of like a nice memory that happened to you recently where you were happy. Maybe you were playing a game with a friend, or you were out walking around. And then you can kind of go, oh yeah, oh, things are good, right? So things are always good in the present, Ted. I mean, well, for us, obviously.
We'll talk about that, because that's the next part. Talk about, so present moment, I feel
Yeah.
like is almost impossible for people with this. Because
Well, I mean,
being
like
present is
I'll
almost
give you a good
impossible.
example. Eckhart Tolle talks about this, and he says sometimes you're 80% ego and 20% enlightened. Sometimes you're 50-50. Sometimes you're 80% enlightened and 10%, 9% enlightened, 10% ego. We're just human beings. No one can keep in a state of, well, we'll just use the term, although it's beaten up a lot, enlightened state. No one can, even monks, and that's all they do. They get in their ego sometimes. I mean, look at the Dalai Lama, man. He gets kind of upset sometimes, right?
Oh yeah.
And he's pretty enlightened dude. I think that all you can do is the best you can do every day. But if you try to make it a practice every day, which I did for years, it becomes a habit. And then you can really see your life evolve and change where you're not looking for the next shoe to drop, where you're actually enjoying life, because really it's just a journey anyway. There is no like destination. There's just this journey, you know, and and that's like it's an endless journey, right? Endless, really. I mean, nobody really dies because we all exist. There's never a time we didn't exist because energy doesn't dissipate. It doesn't end or begin. It's come from the beginning, like from, I'm getting a little heady here, but from way back at the beginning. So none of us really die. Yes, we leave this corporal form and we do something else. Who knows? I don't know yet. I haven't been there yet. So maybe it's the place I came from that I don't remember. I mean, not to ramble on a point, but it's developing a habit and understanding there's going to be times where you have no money. Sometimes you have money. Sometimes it's in between. Sometimes you're having good luck. Sometimes it's not so hot. It all cycles. You know, we all start from nothing and we'll go to nothing. And so, like, so everything in the life is the journey is the profit, right? Because we came from nothing. We all came from nothing, right? So, if you can end your life, even if you end with nothing, you're still even. So, it's a zero sum game, really. Think about life, right? It's not who has the most toys wins, because you have no idea if you'll be able to take those toys or not. Physically, you won't be able to.
That's right.
You know, the
I love
Egyptians
all
thought you
those.
could,
I
but
love all those sayings about you just can't, you really can't take it with you. And I wanna focus a little bit on that because I think people think all of these things that are making them happy in
Mhm.
the immediate gratification that it's gotten so much worse over the years, especially with the phones and the immediate access to everything. But there's a difference between happy and joy. So talk about why you have joyful abundance in there, because that word is different. A lot of people intermix those or feel like they're the same. And in reality, you can be happy about having something, but have no joy in your life. Or you can be joyful and not and still in the midst of a whole bunch of negative stuff going on. So talk about why you chose joyful abundance.
well, this is how I define it, which may or may not align with anybody's definition per se. Really, really, it comes down to this. So, happy is a state that's temporary.
Mhm.
Joy is a continuous state of happiness. That's how I define it.
Me too.
So, oh, I got this deal. I'm happy. Then, a couple of days later, I'm like, I'm not so happy anymore. What
Yeah.
happened? They asked, there was a guy from Friends that passed away. That show,
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry, right? They asked him. He said, "When I got that show, which is all I ever wanted, I wanted to be on a comedy TV show, and that's all I ever wanted." He said it lasted about 6 months. The joy, the happiness, I should say, and then he went down to where he was back before he got the show, and he had to try to fill his life with the drugs and the diversions and trying to get back to that happy state. But that the joy is the goal. The
Yes.
abundance comes from the joy. The joy doesn't come from and then the joy comes from the abundance. So it is a circle, right?
It is.
But that's how I do it. That's how I do it, Ted.
I agree. I think people, because we are so used to, especially in this world, getting what we want immediately. We have high expectations because of the things we digest or ingest, like reality TV and certain things like that. We're living in this temporary, everything's happy, 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 but there's no long term focus on the joy. And I believe
Right.
that joy is what really should be the goal. Happy can come along with it, but joy is where you need to be in the midst of, like this week, I lost a friend. I'm not happy, obviously, about that, but I still have to be joyful. I am joyful about the other things going on in my life. So I just think it's a mindset, but it's an important one. And
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that you shared that, because I think it's super important. So tell them about the writing of the book as we wrap up, because I think there's a lot of people who think they have ideas and they want to put them on paper, and they're like, God, I am not as smart about writing things down as I thought I was. So was the process difficult for you? Did you just sit down at the computer and type away, or what was that like?
That was what you just said. It just kind of flowed through, and it flowed through. I want to think through uh, God, you know, and God said, and it, you know, off and on working on it, but always kind of like just adding to it, adding to it. It's a short book. It's I didn't want to get people bogged down because it's enough to think about these concepts anyway. It takes, you're rewiring your brain
Right.
to make it better. So it's about 65 pages, and it just kind of flowed through. And I had to try to put a basic outline out about different topics, which you'll see when you buy the book, how I have it laid out. I have some meditation techniques in there. I have ways to try to conceptualize these things before you integrate them. If you don't understand them, you're not going to. And the ultimate goal is to release it all, right?
Yeah.
Become nothing and just allow everything to flow. That's the using the Tao and what they used to call the logos, which was what the ancient Romans called. It's the same thing. It's the abundance emanation of the universe.
Yes.
So once you develop your habits, though, and I use guided meditations that take no more than 20 minutes. They're available on YouTube.
Yeah, you can
I'll
YouTube.
let
There's
you know what
apps.
they are.
There's free apps. You can like. There's so much that you can do with that, but I think people get so caught up in the process of choosing. It's analysis paralysis, and my
Right.
recommendation is
So I'm going to
always
give you
just
two
pick
links
something.
on YouTube. Two
Just
links on YouTube.
just do it. Just
The first
look
one
it
I
up.
would do, just do this. First off, try to stop watching the news. Try to turn off the TV and turn off the social media for at least an hour. And don't look at it first thing in the morning or before you go to bed. If you can't turn it off altogether, the worst times to look at this stuff is when you wake up or before you go to bed, because you're still in your subconscious state and it's programming you. The last thing you want to do is watch the morning or evening news. Last thing. If you want to taper back and say, I'll just watch the afternoon news, okay. And then, but if you're watching news before or after you go to bed, or you're looking at your social media, it's just not gonna,
No, and
be
then
helpful.
we should do a whole nother show on sleep and when to look at things and all that, because there's a whole bunch that goes into it, and it's a constant practice. And one thing I want to leave everybody with is that Al and I have been practicing our own versions of this for a long time. We're still in progress. And so I want to encourage people, find a starting place and start. Reach out to one of us, go to Al's book, yourabundantnow.com. It's scrolling. But I want you to start somewhere. Just start, right? That's the thing. You have to start. And if you get caught up in all of the stuff, well, what about this one? Maybe I should try this one. You forget and you
Yes.
get bogged down, and then you don't ever start. So
The
tell them
search
that
for enlightenment leads to no enlightenment
that's correct.
because you're still looking and you're looking and you're looking. I would say I'm going to give one link before we wrap up. You can go onto YouTube. It's free. Put in Abundance Meditation by Bob Proctor, Procter, Proctor. And it's a roughly 20-minute meditation where he talks about how abundant you really are. You just have to understand and believe that. Because we are all abundant by nature. So when I made the book You're Abundant Now, it means be in the now, because that's where all the abundance is. Look, I'm on a world famous show here talking about my book. This is a wonderful opportunity. I want to thank you again, Ted. You're a wonderful friend, and I appreciate you.
I feel the same, my friend. You want Al's energy, go to yourabundantnow.com. I love it. Look him up. I'll tag him in this. You'll be able to reach out to him directly as well. Al, I love and appreciate you, my friend. And I thank you for all that you do in the world. Listen, you all have the tools. You can do it. Go to Your Abundant Now and start there. All right. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks, everybody.